Breakfast o'clock. My coffee is percolating. I'm having breakfast under this most unforgiving light, and thus begins my day. And it is winter, hence my big blue buffo robe. After my breakfast of champions, I come to my desk in a similarly unforgiving light and do about an hour's work first thing. I do like to wake up early and start my day and get the bulk of my work done as soon as possible. So I know that I can clock off at Campari o'clock, and if I need some time off in the afternoon for errands or just when my brain isn't functioning as well, I don't feel guilty doing that. I also joined a networking group a few years ago that meets once a week at 7 a.m. And because I still like to have my breakfast of champions even with such an early start, hence the 5 a.m. alarm clocks. I don't wake up at 5 every day, but it's generally 5 or 5:30. At this point, I'm reviewing what I have to do this day. I've prepared for all my meetings in advance, so I'm going through and refreshing myself on those and looking at all the obligations that I have for today or for this week. What about clothes? The working from home outfit. There's always a lot of talk about, does one just sit there in their robe all day? Does one put on full makeup and clothes and high heels as if they were going to the office? I like to wear something that is comfortable and casual-ish, but my thought process is always, if a client knocked on my door, would I be embarrassed for them to see me wearing this? What you're seeing now, for example, is today's outfit. I have a series of black trousers that are comfortable, but sort of socially acceptable, at least for being in my own home. And then it's cold today, so a big sweater. I had a similar philosophy actually when I did work in the office. There's no dress code, wear what's comfortable, but make sure that you would look acceptable to a client, even if it's jeans.
This is a screenshot of what my scheduler looks like. I've blacked out a few things where there are client names or similar. There are some things that have to happen on specific dates, but otherwise I put all of my repeating or regular tasks in for Monday. Some of them are weekly, some of them are monthly. They're all in for the Monday, not because they have to happen on the Monday, but they have to happen that week. And so instead of saying it has to be done within these hours or on this day, I just know that I have to get it done before the end of the week. I like to schedule all my meetings for any time Monday through Wednesday, so I can do all those earlier in the week as well, and try to leave Thursday and Friday free for any overflow work, things that did not get done Monday through Wednesday, meeting follow-ups and more, and of course, time to work on my own projects. We can think of those 2 days any time that I have available as working on my business rather than in my business. So what does today look like? Today looks like this. Filming a day in the life video, huzzah! On Wednesdays, I always prepare my newsletter for the following Tuesday, because on Wednesday is when my video comes out, like the one that you're watching now, so I can add that link to next week's email blast that goes out on a Tuesday. I have to finish following up my meetings because my last meetings yesterday were late in the afternoon, and I'm going to film videos for this channel today, so I'll be working on editing those. I also have another client meeting today. Let me show you how I prep for that. I have templates for every type of meeting. So you can see I've got client meetings, coffee meetings, events, speaking opportunities. So if I look at the template for client meetings, a table at the top, I'm going to put in who is the client, what are we working on, and a link to the folder with all of their follow-up reports, my notes about the client, the proposal, everything pertinent to that client is in that one folder. Now we look at this meeting or workshop specifically. What is the subject for today? What are the outcomes that I expect from this meeting? What is the client going to learn and be able to do by the end of this meeting? Then I type in my agenda, and during the meeting, I'll be able to take notes. After the meeting, these are the actions I have to take. Update my client tracking form, so I have my summary of where we are with the client, compile the notes and send that on to the client. I add for the reading, encouraging clients to subscribe to my newsletter if they have not already done so. And then I send the notes to the clients and raise an invoice or add to the time allocation to that client. All right, so that is that. I come out of those. Oh, and look, this is my desktop. I like a clean desktop. As you can see, I only have the one folder with things in them that need to stay on my desktop for whatever reason. What's the point is the reminder to me that there always needs to be a point to what I'm doing. It's to make sure I never do the work just by going through the motions, but I always stop and say, what is the point of what I am doing right now? All right, let's get to work.
this look familiar? I'm filming a consultant corner video. I have to wait for the light not to be right on the sofa. And by light, I mean the sun. I rely on natural light for these videos. The window is there, and at different times of the year, I have to film at different times of the day because of when the sun is sort of shining right here. Here we go. Consultant corner.
Hey, I'm back. I'm at my desk because I want to show you one of my favorite things. Ta-da! Inbox zero! I try to check my email only twice a day around noon, so either right before or right after lunch, just depending on when time permits, and then again towards the end of the day. I confess that when I first log in the morning, I will also look at my email, but only to address anything that requires an answer, something urgent from a client or anything of that sort. It's rarely the case that there's something there, but just to be safe.
And just like that, it is lunch o'clock. I've been working from home for a number of years now, and one thing I quickly realized working from home was I can have whatever I want for lunch. I have a full kitchen right here. So I do like to make myself a proper lunch every day. And what I'll often do is early in the week, I'll make a dish that I like, and I'll have enough for 1 or 2 extra meals. And then I have other simple meals that I make more regularly. So I step away from my desk to make and eat lunch. Usually while lunch is cooking, I'll empty the dishwasher from the day before and pile it up with 30 dishes from breakfast. And while I'm eating lunch, of course, I am reading my book. It's a little bit after lunch, and I like to, if possible, time permitting, get outside for a little bit. So a couple times a week I go for walkies. I've got a couple half-hour routes that I do around my neighborhood. There's a lot of uphill and downhill here, so they're organized so that I can maximize that time. On other days, if I have errands to run, that's what I'll do, and that's what I'm doing today. My dry cleaning has been piling up, so I'm gonna drop that off. What you're hearing in the background is laundry. Usually when I'm getting up to leave the house for errands or walkies, I'll also put in a load. That way when I get back, it's ready for the dryer. And so some chores are incorporated into that routine. All right, let's go. So this is a little awkward. I've got the, obviously the thing to hold my phone, but it's new and I didn't realize that to reposition it, I don't know what I have to do. So that's why I'm way over here in the corner. But as I am heading out, I'm also thinking about what I have to do when I do get back at my desk. I'm following up the meeting that I had with a client this morning. It's the end of the year, so we talked about how their performance reviews went, how they're wrapping up the year. I also had another client who reached out with a request for some reporting. I don't build reports. I'm not a data analyst or anything of that sort, but they're thinking about ways that they need to see data for their purposes. So I'm putting together a few samples for them that can stress different parts of the data that they need to see based on what they need to achieve. But for now, let's focus on the road. All right, here we are, masks on. Somebody, I think I made a face, I just went through, we did a left turn on a very blatant red light. Shocking. Okay. All right, let's go. All done, and we can head home now. You want to listen to NPR with me? See what's going on there.
He made significant inroads in Buckhead. And so on the east side, Ansley Park, Johnson Estates, going over towards Emory, he won those outright. And let me say this, and I wanted to lead with this point.
This is interesting. So yesterday was the runoff election for the mayor of Atlanta. We had the election in early November, too close to call. So yeah, the runoff was yesterday. Guess who was the first person in line at the ballot box? Yes, these things excite me. Yeah, it was me. I think I should film everything with this angle now. I think it's good.
Hey, obviously I'm back at my desk now and it has gotten warmer. I've casualed down. I'm working on these client reports right now, so I thought I'd show you my templates because of course I have templates for everything. Any work that is repeated, that looks the same, or any parts of a work that looks the same, I try as much as possible to have those set so I don't have to recreate things more than once. Just realized something. I should have my book in the background of my video, should I not? let's turn our attention to templates. This template is the client report that I send to my clients after a workshop or a meeting. It says final report, but actually it's the one I use most often for all my follow-up reports. I focus first on, well, what is the primary goal of the meeting, then up to three action points. And what I fill in this table is the action column and the goal column. This is what you need to do. This is the outcome you expect by doing this thing. The outcome, however, remains blank, and the client can fill that in and say, this is the actual outcome that we achieved. And at our next meeting, we can compare those two and see if they match, which hopefully they do. And then we've got some key insights. Those titles can change to address the topic rather than just say key insight. This gives me the structure that I need to fill in that report. I've got the material from my notes. So I am going to complete those reports right now. The one for the client meeting, get the material together for the other client request. I've had a couple emails come in that require some brain power, so I will be working on those after this, and then editing videos for the rest of the day, and eventually editing this video also for Consultant Corner. So back to work. I probably won't see you again until Campari o'clock.
All right, and with that, I am calling it a day. It's Campari o'clock, which means I shut down my computer, I pour myself a small Campari if I have it. I very nerdily do a few minutes of crossword puzzle, and then start cooking dinner. You'll be shocked to hear that. Of course, I meal plan, so I always know what I'm gonna have for dinner. And depending on the recipe, my husband and I alternate as to who is chef and who is sous chef. Tonight, he is chef, I am sous. So that wraps up a day in the life of this particular freelance consultant. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm gonna see you on the other side of the new year, where I'll be back in my usual corner with my more usual content. See you there, see you then. Bye now.